Sorry, how are you? Hola, Manaka. Madam Minister, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Love to have you here. When did you get in? You've been here for a while now.
3 days, finally.
Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, Nisambula Vinaka, Namaste, and a very, very good morning to you all. Ladies and gentlemen, before I begin, can we warmly welcome our Honorable Prime Minister for his gracious presence here this morning with a loud applause. Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister, for accepting our invitation to be our guest of honor for the opening of the 2015 National Women's Expo. Ladies and gentlemen, I would also like to accord a very warm and a special welcome to the Honorable Minister for Women and Child Protection, all the way from the Republic of Indonesia, who has joined us to be part of our celebrations with a delegation, and of course to see how better we can forward our collaborations with our Indonesian counterparts. Madam, welcome to Fiji. I would also like to invite welcome all our sponsors and our partners, our well-wishers who have stood behind us within the months of preparation leading to the expo here this morning. So thank you very much. Also, a special welcome to all the 600 women artisans who have traveled from all across Fiji to be part of this expo to display their crafts. A special welcome to all our sponsors and our media partners as well. And I thank you all for turning up in large numbers to the opening of this expo, which also coincides with the World Rural Women's Day that will be celebrated on the 15th, that is tomorrow here. Last year, the Ministry of Women set out to organize Fiji's first ever Women's Expo, staging an event that gathered many of the hard-working women of Fiji for an impressive display of talent and entrepreneurship. It was a huge success, and I'm honored to be passed the responsibility of steering this course further this year and of course in the near future. This year's Women's Expo is focused on the theme connecting women to markets and making it happen. It is a theme designed to express our desire for a more proactive approach to the promotion of women in business. We are determined to make it happen. There is no compromise in our theme and only sheer will and desire for progress. The major constraints which hinder the economic development of our women are gender inequalities, negative attitudes towards work, archaic mindsets, and a small number of cultural practices and perceptions that exist. These, however, must be addressed in order to achieve sustainable and equitable development for all our women. One of the ways we are aiming to do this is by promoting partnerships at different levels between men and women, boys and girls, as well as partnerships between various sectors and actors in this development process. Partnership in small business development is a foundation for community empowerment and often has a further advantage of enhancing marketing and competitiveness. Over the years, the government has put in place mechanisms for ensuring that women are at the center of socio-economic transformation. Constitutional provisions for equality and non-discrimination, the gender policy, advocacy policy, and women's plan of action are all proof of this. The government has also placed a great deal of focus on infrastructure development. In addition to the development of main roads that connect different districts, efforts have also been made to improve and construct rural roads which enable women to access local markets, hospitals and schools. Yes, our women are not being inspired by words alone. We are altering the framework around them to ensure that the rights and opportunities our laws and policies give them are truly accessible and available to them. The next phase is what we are pushing for now. We need stronger partnership at the community level to ensure a foundation of peace, and mutual support, especially within the core social groupings, such as the family. To achieve this, we are promoting strong partnerships between men and women and mobilizing them to participate in government programs at all levels. We are encouraging women to participate and engage in income-generating activities in their communities, and mentoring programs are being developed for knowledge sharing and skills development. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to fully transition Fijian society from archaic remnants of patriarchy, we must also enhance social economic empowerment. I challenge all leaders in all subsets of our society to seriously consider the role of men in achieving gender equality. To this end, it is important to note that gender equality does not mean women finally achieving some form of dominance over men, but rather promotes a level playing field absent of subtle forms of discrimination that prevails against women. With these factors in mind, I emphasize the objectives for the National Women's Expo, which are to 1. Enhance rural women's development, celebrate Fijian women's talent, promote rural women in micro-entrepreneurship through business development opportunities, market Fiji rural women's products with the Fijian-made emblem and labeling, and finally, address the challenge of poverty and move into a more transformational and a prosperous era. The World Economic Forum published a global report last year quantifying the magnitude of gender-based disparities in 140 countries and tracking their progress over time. With this report, what this report made clear is that there is a correlation behind gender equality and the improvement of the overall quality of life within any country. Empowering our women to participate in business enables the growth of our economy as well. It is immensely moral as well as sensible direction for any nation to follow. And it is with this great pride that I witness these changes happening right here in our own country. Today, and this expo as a whole, is another brick added to the building up of our great nation. And on this note, I wish to welcome you once again, and I welcome you to join in the festivities that will take place in the next 3 days of the expo, and also assist the ministry in connecting our women to market and making it happen. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you once again, and I invite you to join us in our festivities. Thank you once again for your presence here this morning. Thank you.
The Minister for Women, Children and Poverty Alleviation, Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister for Women's Empowerment and Child Protection of the Republic of Indonesia, Honorable Ministers, Members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests and expo sponsors, my fellow Fijians, Bula Vinaka, and a very good morning to you all. The National Women's Expo is a key initiative of my government to recognize and empower some of the most talented people in our national life, our women artisans. I was extremely proud just over a year ago to be here to launch the first expo. And I'm even more proud to be back today to launch the second, because we have refined and improved both the selection process of the items being showcased here and the assistance we are providing to enable Fijian women right across the nation to take part. Last year, the National Women's Expo was open to everyone, irrespective of the quality of their work. But now, only those artisans who make it through the 4 divisional craft shows can qualify to come to Suva for the national event. They have to earn their place here by meeting a set of standards laid down by the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Tourism and the Fiji Arts Council. It's a quality control process that ensures that only the best artisans and only the best handicrafts are featured at the 2015 National Women's Expo. So over the next 3 days, you are seeing the very best that Fiji has to offer. and it is being showcased to local buyers and exporters looking for the very best. Items truly worth of receiving the Fijian crafted label of the Fijian made brand of products and services we are taking to the world and on which much of our economic prosperity depends. The National Women's Expo is already gaining an international reputation, and as part of that, I'm delighted to welcome Indonesia's Minister for Women's Empowerment and Child Protection, Dr. Yohana Mbise. Your Excellency, we are honored by your presence in Fiji. It is a clear sign not only of the growing importance of our relationship with Indonesia, it is also a sign of the great importance both our nations are placing on the empowerment and advancement of our women. Harnessing their talents, encouraging them to express themselves artistically, encouraging a culture of excellence and pride in their work, and giving them the means to market and sell the items they make to benefit themselves and their families. Minister, I'm sure you'll agree with me when I say that women are the backbone of our nations. They are our mothers, the trusted figures we turn to for assistance and advice, who we can rely on, the caregivers, the nurses, the custodians of our customs and traditional knowledge. They are the glue that holds families together. Their opinions count. They deserve to be consulted. They deserve to be treated with respect, to be protected from violence and exploitation. And increasingly, they are asserting their economic strength, using their talents to earn incomes for themselves and their families. Gaining a bigger foothold in the workforce and reaching positions of influence and responsibility, using their talents to make items that other people value, other people want. And that is what my government is determined to encourage and facilitate. More than anything else, today is a celebration of the achievements of Fijian women as we pay tribute to their skills and hard work. To all of you, 600 of the most talented of Fijian artisans, the nation salutes you. We salute you for the many hours of effort you have put into to produce your items. We salute you for the quality of those items, for their beauty and the unique way they represent our traditions and our culture, for being authentically Fijian. And we dedicate ourselves today to the task of helping you to capitalize in the value of your work, to link you to potential markets and income. The theme of this year's Expo says it all: connecting women to the markets. Make it happen. And this is a truly national event. Of those 600 women who are here, 194 are from the Eastern Division of Fiji, 156 from the Central Division, 130 are from the West, and 120 are from the North. For many of you, especially from maritime communities and more isolated parts of Fiji, this is your best opportunity of the year, a golden opportunity to showcase your work. And I'm very pleased that we've been able to sponsor you all for the first time through the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Tourism. With assistance from the United Nations Development Program, we have provided you with travel, accommodation, meals and a daily subsistence allowance. So no matter what your personal circumstances are, you have been able to come to Suva to take part in this landmark event. All the great strands of Fijian-made handicrafts are here. Woven products such as mats and baskets, masi, items made from shells or coconuts, household crafts, items of clothing, the best that Fiji has to offer, all under one roof, at one site. And the buyers are here. Individuals, retail stores, and potential exporters. We are linking you with them in a way and on a scale that has never been possible before, especially from women from isolated places. So I urge you all to get down to business, to do deals that are fair and reflect the value of these items, the best of which are among the best Fijian artifacts in the world. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Fijians, the time to do business has never been better. As many of you know, we are in the throes of the longest running period of economic growth in Fijian history. The national pie, our economy, grew by 5.3% last year. And that eventually means a bigger slice for everyone, especially if we can remain focused as a nation and enable that growth to continue. It certainly means that most of the big businesses in Fiji are doing well. So I urge them to err on the generous in their negotiations with our artisans and strike prices that are fair. I want to remind the women of Fiji just how far we've come in empowering them and their families. Not only with specific initiatives like this one, but with the free schooling we have provided for your children and our scholarships and tertiary loans. All of which have taken a considerable strain of household budgets and enabled families to direct their spending elsewhere. Then there's the socio-economic rights contained in our Constitution that we are steadily implementing as our economy picks up pace. The right to work for just minimum wage, the right to economic participation, the right to adequate housing and sanitation, the right to adequate food and water, the right to health, the rights of children and the disabled, the right to a clean environment. We now have a national gender policy that requires women to be treated equally at every level. And we have tightened our laws or introduced new ones to give Fijian women an unprecedented level of protection, including the first domestic violence laws in Fiji's history. Yet unfortunately, while we can change our laws, we can't change attitudes so easily. I share the concern of His Excellency, our President, expressed in his Fiji Day message about how far we still need to go to address our nation's flaws and weaknesses. The incidence of domestic violence, and especially violence against women, is still far too high. It is in fact a national crisis. And so is the incidence of rape and child abuse in Fiji. I'm told that there is now an average of 1 rape a day in Fiji filed with the courts. There are others that don't proceed to prosecution, even if they're reported. And of course, we can be sure that there are some rapes that go unreported in the first place, covered up, the perpetrators avoiding justice, the victims suffering in silence. As a government, we've tried to do what we can. We've removed the old Victorian rules for corroboration of rape, the need to go an extra mile to prove rape. No longer does the rape victim's sexual history have any bearing on a case, nor is Mbulu accepted to let rapists go free. Yet I'm sorry to say that the incidence of rape is still high because it is about basic attitudes, and those attitudes have not changed. I again want to say to the women of Fiji that they must be protected. We must protect them. Real men don't rape women. They respect a woman's right to say no. And they certainly don't abuse children, a heinous crime that warrants the strongest punishment. I also want to say to the women of Fiji, the authorities have zero tolerance for domestic violence, rape, and child abuse, and so must you. It is not acceptable under any circumstances for your husband, partner, or any male family member to beat you. It is not acceptable under any circumstances for you or any other women or children around you to be assaulted and abused in a sexual or any other way. And if it happens, it is your duty to report it to the police. Because only by then, by adopting a position of zero tolerance, can we have any hope as a nation of dealing adequately with this crisis. As His Excellency the President so powerfully stated on the weekend, we must put an end to the hypocrisy of a society that professes to be religious yet turns a blind eye to too many instances of ungodly behavior. Ask our nation's women, the most precious members of Fijian society, to be at the forefront of getting our people to change their behavior, to be the eyes and ears of our society, watching and listening for instances of violence, of rape and abuse, and reporting them, while at the same time giving every assistance they can to the victims and encouraging them to come forward. We desperately need your assistance for every woman's sake, for every child's sake. Honorable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, for all our problems, this is the day to celebrate our achievements. And I urge you all to take full advantage of the opportunities this National Expo provides, not only to showcase your work, but to gain new skills through some of the workshops we are conducting on ways to improve the sale and marketing of your products. A big welcome to everyone who has worked so hard behind the scenes to make this event a success, and especially the staff at the Ministry for Industry, Trade and Tourism and the Ministry for Women, Children and Poverty Alleviation. Plus, of course, the UNDP and our valued sponsors. It is a great privilege for me to be here to meet as many of you as possible and to admire what your hands have produced. And I now have great pleasure in declaring the 2015 National Women's Expo open. God bless you all.